All right, my guest today is Armando Gomez, an Arizona realtor with 10 years of experience who built his business through deep local involvement, which includes school lists, association events, hosted trainings, social media, strong community presence, which I absolutely love. Armando has partnered with more than 200 agents in his first year at EXP and has built systems that have touched over 1,700 homes without traditional showings or contracts written. He joined EXP and the Wolfpack for stronger broker support, transaction support, reduced risk, which is big, greater resources, and the ability to eliminate brokerage duties while increasing value. Armando, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited.
Always, yeah, always great catching up and seeing you. Appreciate you having me.
AZ in the house.
Yeah, got the full valley in the house this time.
Yeah, I love it. So you've been licensed for 10 years in Arizona. What were the early foundations that helped you build traction in your local market?
Yeah, so I built my business completely different than just most of the industry. I started off as an ISA, so I was pounding the phones for a majority of my early career, but it's essentially a referral agent. So what I was doing was the lead generation, the lead nurture and follow up. I was setting the appointments and then had about 12 to 18 agents that would go and either conduct the buyer consultation, the listing presentation, do all the showings, and then the contract to close portion. So I kind of grew it as a referral business. I just knew that I personally never wanted to show houses or do anything like that. But I knew I wanted, a real estate business. So that's how we started growing our business. Fortunately, 10 years previous, was working at a corporate job where I was already on the phones, predominantly throughout my day. So a lot of the similar skill sets, the systems like that you use to follow up, it was all pretty similar. So it was kind of an easy transition for me. I just needed to learn the jargon, how to, things like that. Find my USPs and what we can do to provide value and separate us from other agents. So so I kind of started off there. I didn't realize it at the time, but that whole your network is your net worth. I've growing up always been friends with everybody, and then when social media on back in the day it was MySpace, but I always used to joke and say like, man, how do you know everybody? I'm like, oh, we all went to MySpace together. Because all on there. And you didn't even know how you knew them, but it was just like, oh, we're all on here. So, but then as I started seeing the benefit of, just relationships and relationship capital, right? Like always adding value and trying to help people achieve their goals, or even if it's not going to help you in any way, like, oh, I've learned a lot. So, hey, can I help you with this? Or can I do this? Or, hey, I've used this company, or, hey, I can check out this book, right? Just fortifying those connections, but in a more like strategic way. Also then allowed us to start growing our referrals, word of mouth, things like that. So started off pounding the phones, probably on the phones for between 10 and 12 hours a day, between follow-ups and vendors and agents and things like that. And then started going into relationships, via social media and things like that.
I love that. I actually started with cold calling as well. So I can appreciate it. I still do it to this day. Even if it's not my favorite part of my business, it's definitely beneficial. So I can totally appreciate that. And I love what you've done. So your business is deeply rooted in local schools, association events, and community trainings. Why has community presence been such a powerful growth driver for you?
Yeah, so it kind of all ties together, right? So same thing, I'm still pounding the phones as well, except for now trying to find people to help buy, sell, and invest. Yeah. I'm finding leaders of broker owners to partner, grow, and collaborate with. So I still have allocated, lead reach out and follow up days where, hey, maybe I spoke with you last, quarter, and you were good and you're happy, but I'm following up with you now, and maybe you slowed down, you're struggling a little bit. Well, hey, how can I help? What can we do? Right? I never want to be like, well, come over here, we're going to solve everything. I want to just show them first, like, hey, here's how we can help. Can I put together, an individualized goal or growth plan for you? Would you like to come to one of our events or workshops or trainings? Or, hey, here's this previous training that we've done. Check it out, right? I think it'll help. So just trying to pour into them and show them that we are truly here to, help them in, business life and, just growth, consistency, right? But I still do that for sure, pounding the phones. Now it's again just towards agents, team leaders, and broker owners. In regards to like community events, like, because we've, like, my wife now, she runs like a community group, here in our side of the valley, and that she uses for, new client acquisition. So we kind of took that similar model and do it for agent attraction, right? So, for example, at the end of this month, we have a virtual event on how to hire and leverage virtual agents, or virtual assistants, sorry. And agents can come to it, whether they're a part of our brokerage or not. It's broker agnostic, because we're always just trying to help and add value, right? And then in regards to the reason why we put on those events, the reason why we're pretty active on social, like we like Instagram, Facebook, is because no matter how they find you, maybe it's YouTube, they're then going to go check you out on social media. It used to be Google. Now they're checking you out on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials. So being on there kind of then shows that you are, I don't want to hate, I say saying any of those words like influencer or authority, but it shows confidence. It shows that you know your shit, right? You're not just, testing the waters, doing it here or there. Like, oh, dude, this person's doing it and they're doing it well, right? Things that we do and teach our agents is to not be a secret agent, right? Like, put yourself out there to become the local expert, the local go-to, right? And it doesn't always have to be about real estate. We're very active in our local schools, organizations, like any and everybody knows if there's a local event going on and there's some type of sponsorship involvement, they're reaching out to us. If there's able to afford to go to a certain event or afford the season, we'll cover it, right? But we love that. But then through that, it's allowed us to still grow our name toward now. Maybe it's still buyers and sellers and things like that, and my wife handles that side of the fence. But now when they're maybe having some pain points in their business, or they feel like they're lacking something, or they're just stifled and they're not growing, but know that they can grow, and they just want to take that next step, they think of us now. Like, hey, we see you're doing it, we see your team, your organization, we see the things that you're doing. What would that look like, right? So just kind of still doing the same thing, but then more of that on that side, just to kind of also build that community. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we started partnering together is, hey, you're over there, we're over here, but we're part of the same community. How can we help tie it all together and make it one, right? So one of the things that, I love about, being with EXP for sure.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was like, after meeting you guys and getting to know you and realizing all of the support that you give to people is just amazing, because I'm the same way. Like, I want everyone to win, right? So I want to help, I want to give suggestions, and no matter what that looks like, it's it's beneficial for everybody. So I love that you guys have that, because I'm very much the same way. And I think everybody thinks of real estate as a competition, no matter whether it's growing a team or doing a transaction or whatever the case may be. So I resonate with you guys so much, and it's so great. And I love that you're in Arizona, because it's like, then there's so many more similarities that we have in common as far as like the real estate world goes. So now I know you touched on it earlier, but you did build a system that impacted over 1,700 homes, and you did it without traditional showings or contracts written. Can you walk us through what that model looks like a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I can put on a whole course on that. It's one, it was just identifying the lead source that I wanted to work, right? And then what my ultimate goals were in doing it, right? So I wanted to make money. I was broke growing up, so I just wanted to not have to think about the tab order an extra table top guacamole. But I got on my first plane when I was 30. I'm 38 right now. So it's only been 8 years. And I was like, man, I don't want my kids to have to wait till they're an adult to get on their first flight or to go.
100%.
Our whole thing, like, we're not materialistic. We don't care about vehicles or cars. We're not flashy. We're like the opposite, where it's like, we're always happy. Like, dude, I got this shirt for $3. Yeah.
I love that.
About that stuff. But we always cared about memories and experiences and providing to our kids early on in life. Mm-hmm. And so I say that because if I would have built my business doing open houses where it physically mandated me to have to be here to conduct the open houses, or build out an army of open house agents and then try to wrangle it all together, it would just be a nightmare. So I thought about that early on. Like, what do I want my business to look like? I was like, I know I just want to be able to work. I love what I do, but I want to work when I want, where I want. So I just need cell phone signal and cell phone reception, Wi-Fi, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'm already used to pounding the phones. Let's do that. But I got taught earlier on in my career, like never be just reliant on one lead source. So then I was like, hey, let's go in on social media. I see something here. I start getting into that, and then put together the systems and processes, right? So in doing both, I essentially did the lead generation and then the lead follow-up. That's where a lot of agents kind of, I think, fall off is we're doing all these things for what? To get leads.
Yeah.
And then why do we get leads? To follow up with them. A lot of them don't even put it in their CRM. They don't, they'll call once, maybe twice, but then that's it. They're not setting notes. They're not setting reminders. They don't have them on drips, which drives me nuts because, again, that's how I grew and built my business.
Right, same. Yeah.
And most of the time, clients aren't ready now. There's going to be some type of waiting or nurture period, but the agents won't, they just want the now, right? They don't think about, hey, in 6-7 months, you're going to probably want to eat them too. So it was one, doing that, staying consistent with lead generation, lead follow-up, and then all I was doing was setting the appointments. And I'm not saying that's all I was doing, because to me, that is the hardest part. I would then just tee it off to, I had about, at any given point, 12 to 18 agents that were vetted. They knew our systems and processes, our workflow, how to, here's what to do, step 1 through 3, just so that way, like, here's how to check in. Like, I don't want to be chasing you for updates or notes. I always want to know what's going on, and here's how to find me. So they would do the appointment conduction, whether it was the buyer consultation or the listing presentation, and then they would do showings, and then the contract to close portion, which is just on ours, it's Benzers and appraisals, because the other TC work, we had a TC full service to help them with a lot of that. So they would do the contract to close. So it allowed me to scale at a much faster rate, right? Like when I first got into real estate, I was always naive, and I was like, I'm going to have one closing a day. I'm going to have at least 30 a month minimum. And then I started seeing like all the amount of work it was going to take. And I'm like, well, if I just set between 70 to 85 appointments a month, that'll be easily 35 or more transactions closed in a month. Because I had to have 2, because I would do a 50-50. So I just got to double the numbers, but I'll triple the amount of people that help me do it, and I'll make this thing a reality. So that just became the goal. And then that's then what kind of led us to the rest of our journey and like starting a team. It was like, hey, we already kind of are running a team. Let's start a team. Then it was, hey, we're already operating like a micro brokerage within a brokerage. Let's just do the thing. That's what all the cool kids are doing.
Right.
Miserable, and we hated it personally. After doing that for about 2 years, it was a very profitable brokerage. I mean, it looked good on paper, but we built ourselves a job, not a business. So started looking at options, and then here we are now. So at this point, just because of my wife passing it on to her, she's in production, so she handles all of our friends, families, all the people that we put through. She handled a lot of our like lead generation. Like my main lead source at the time was Facebook ads. We were just crushing it with that. So it's where a lot of our leads and closings would come from, until we started getting referrals and repeat transactions, things like that. So in totality, because it's our 10th year, it'll be my 10th year this May, between her production and our agent's production. Well over 7.
Awesome. I love that. And I mean, you kind of like went into like my next question about, so you come over here after building this phenomenal business and together with your wife, which I'm really excited because I get to interview her next. But when you came over to EXP, you have now partnered with more than 200 agents, and that's within your first year. So what was the key to building that level of momentum in comparison to housing and transactions?
When I looked at it before I jumped on, just because I thought you might ask, so I'm glad I did. In our year, or less than a year, because I joined January 9th. So from January 9th to December 31st, it was 219 agents that I brought on. One, because we were already a team and a brokerage, recruiting was what I was already doing. Like, so to me, that was my day-to-day. Like I said, I've never not been on the phones for my past 10 years in real estate. Some people see me like, oh, you're just, it's kind of more chill or hands off, right? You kind of do what you want. No, like I still have my main vitals that I need to do day in and day out within my business, just like any other agent. I was already used to doing that, right? And that's also too, like, one of the things that I do love about my partnership with my wife and like the way we operated our business is we knew early on that we were going to divide and maximize, meaning like, hey, you go and focus on production. I'll go focus on agent attraction and agent growth and development. That way we weren't like doing the same thing, because then I feel like it wouldn't be the power of two. It's, well, no, they're both together just doing the one thing, right? So I was already kind of doing that. So that's how I got involved with our local real estate schools and being one of their preferred teams or brokerages or now organizations, get asked to speak at their events or host events, things like that. Again, we'll do virtual and local trainings, events, workshops that we open up and invite any and all agents to, which again, we're not there pitching and selling. It's, hey, let's get shit done together. Let's also then, continue to mastermind, and then let's see what our results are in the next 30, 90 days. But then it builds those relationships, and then fortunately does start leading to agents coming over and partnering with us. So when I tell agents like, how did that work, or it was literally just a compound of our previous 8 years in real estate. So I say that because we've always been the ones, hey, how's business? Oh, you need that? Hey, well, here, take mine. It's editable, plug and play, do whatever. Hey, here's this book. Hey, we've given so much time, so much resources, flown out, like spoken at other people's events on our expense, like not asking for anything in return, just to help and support. But that was how I say that we were raised in business. Like meagan, who's one of our business partners, he taught me, man, he's like, just you'll never be punished for overextending value. And so everybody was always cool, gracious, and loved it. To where when we had the opportunity at EXP, to where now we can truly partner and collaborate with agents in any other market, like we had all been talking about or joking about, like we'd be at a local mastermind in, Florida or wherever. And man, I wish we could all imagine that it would be the Avengers of real estate. We're like, that would be tight, but then you have to have office. It's different. It was just always hard, right? But EXP, they already had the platform built out to where now when we made the move over, it was kind of in our market, but then through all the other agents, team leaders, and broker owners that we've met and, kind of helped or masterminded, collaborated with, they were like, dude, what's going on? Like, made a little bit of a buzz. And so we just told them straight up, hey, yes, it was profitable, but we were miserable. And we had a job, not a business. Like our lifestyle is, we work to live, not live to work. We want to be with our kids and involved in their lifestyle, their sports, again, travel, right? So I was like, we're hitting our mandatory minimum, but I don't want to have to worry about broker questions or E&O complaints or whatever, right? Like all the back end, just payrolls, 1099 at the end of the year, just all the bookkeeping, like
everything,
everything, right? Nalika's production has started to dip because she felt guilty being out on like a buyer consultation listing presentation, and the agents are calling and not getting their questions answered. So she's like, so then our lifestyle kind of took a hit for a bit, right? So it was just like, what do we want? And this allowed us to build it. So when we made the move, it was like, hey, I know we used to joke about this, but are you interested in seeing what a possible partnership and growing and collaborating together would actually look like? And not only that, this is how it works. You get us, you get my sponsor, their sponsor. We all have different skill sets that we contribute, different resources, we're always all available. We're all very vested in our agents and their growth and success. So now it's not one, it's many. Is that something you're interested in? And fortunately, they were all willing to at least take the call or hear what was going on, or at least just, hey, I don't even want to try to tell you about it. Let me tell you why I did it and see if I'm missing anything.
Right.
Like, let me know if just let me know. And then by me just explaining why I moved, they're like, hey, so what about this? And what about this? We started building that curiosity. They can start seeing the pain points in their own business. And we're like, oh, dude, this is, the cure for that. Man. So then we had, fortunately, a good amount of team leaders and broker owners made the move over. So it wasn't like ones or twosies. But we were still doing the ones or twosies, right? We'd bring on a broker out in like Utah with like 20 agents. But then there would be like a month or two where I would only pop 1 or 2 a month just from my efforts of what I was doing. But then I was talk to another broker in a different state and they'd bring over 35 agents with them, right? So I think that one, it was truly what we had always all wanted in regards to partnering and collaborating and growing and being able to truly contribute into each other's business and ultimately helping everybody grow in a win-win model. But then it was also too just that opportunity for like growth and scale. Like when we were a team or even a brokerage, it's only in Arizona, and then trying to open up another office, trying to find a team leader, manage it, facilitate it, then all the staff and overhead because of the brick and mortar, all just the risk and liability. It was a lot to where now we can just partner, plug and play. Now with co-sponsorship, like there's just so many way more advantageous for our agents as well. Instead of, because we were the ones doing all the trainings and stuff like that. Well, we all have only a certain amount of hours, and then we had to go hire, bring in staff. Now we have all of that support and all of that done for us and just a higher level. So it was just all the win-win for our agents first and foremost.
Yeah, that's pretty much like what a big reason why I moved over too. So I'm in Tucson. I had moved to Phoenix, to Goodyear, for a little while, and I was still part of a Tucson brokerage that kind of has a franchise model. It's not a huge well-known name, but I couldn't join their brokerage in Phoenix because they're two separate entities. So it was really, really hard. I mean, you can do that like state by state, right? Like you could be part of one brokerage in one state and a whole nother brokerage in another state, which also kind of sucks because sometimes the one you're part of in this state that isn't at the other one. So my cousin, he was in San Diego, and we were having that mass exodus of, California coming over. And so we're like, how do we partner to look like a team without the logistics of a state-by-state team? And so that's how we ended up at EXP. And then it's like all this extra stuff with the Wolfpack and our community. And so it just worked out really well for us. And but yeah, you're 100% right. It's so hard. And EXP just has this like umbrella all like internationally, which is amazing and makes it so beneficial.
I think that's also what plays into part of that whole like collaboration over competition. Like especially like the old school brick and mortars, everybody tries to like hoard their information. Like if I tell you the secret sauce, it's going to take away from my family. Where at EXP, it has been the most abundant minded collaboration. Like I had a training myself through EXP today, and the amount of training and value and just help and support and everybody just literally cheering each other on. So we're like, me personally, I'm not like the woo woo type, but they're always just in there supporting. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like I like that. Right. So it's, man, yeah, for sure. Definitely a game changer. And then, yeah, even that, like, I know you mentioned you guys are in different states and partnering up, which is kind of what we do and what we like and love. But like agents that, like, think about it, you guys, you're in the same city, you're only 2 hours away, but two different organizations and couldn't join. Most people have that problem when they're licensed in dual states or in dual countries. Where at EXP, you have, one monthly fee, you have the one
cap. Like that's like the crazy thing.
Different brokers, different fees or cost or splits, right? It's all unified, which is another thing that, I loved about EXP, because we do have a lot of agents that are licensed in here in Florida, here in Texas, here in Washington. And when I show them, hey, I'll save you $500 a month right now just by joining. And I showed them, like, hey, you're paying this in Arizona, you're paying that there. If you go here, it's $90 a month.
It's just one time. One fee for, you can work as many markets as you want. And it is great because you have partners in every single market that you could possibly think of. So I think it's the best. I could talk for hours on EXP.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too.
So you did join the EXP and the Wolfpack, which, as you know, is, in my opinion, the best community ever. But what was your reason for coming to the Wolfpack versus any other group, so to speak, within the company?
Yeah, no, great question. So we did our research at first. It wasn't like we just were like, oh, let's go Wolfpack, how just some agents either do luckily or don't do, and then wish that they did because they don't get as much training, support, or resources. So it was kind of like a perfect storm scenario. So one, we were already miserable, like owning our brokerage. So we had already started interviewing other organizations, but we knew we wanted more of like the cloud-based model. So EXP, obviously, Referral, LPT, some of the other ones, right? And for everything that we kept doing, whether it was agent training, agent growth, agent elevation plan. So like if you're on a team, but then you wanted to start your own team, being able to still help and support and grow together, like just so many things. It was always EXP. Well, one of our mentors had just made the move over. And he's one of the most brilliant dudes that I know. Like when he makes a decision, he studies what he studied, and then goes and studies again. So to me, I feel like it was like a fortunate blessing because one, it gave us the opportunity to realign and grow and partner together. We hadn't been able to do that since we were agents on his team and started our team, because when we left our own brokerage, we were bidders, even though he's still my brother. We were always still training, supporting, hanging out. He still let us use his office even when we had our own brokerage. He was a super dope. But it allowed us to reunify. And then when I asked him, hey, why did you select your sponsor, which was Mike? He's like, he gave me every rundown. And then me and him had a conversation because, so out of all of EXP, some of the top producing individual agents and 4 out of the top teams, whether it's units, volume, or both, those agents are in our market here in Arizona, here in Phoenix. So the Luna team, Apex, Legacy, Jen Marie. So when they started hearing it, they all, hey, join here, come with us. And again, then we started looking at it like, if we join over here, what do we get? If we join over here, what do we get? Because at the time there wasn't co-sponsorship. So we're like, okay, we got to make sure.
And a lot of those are like actual teams too, not just like an organization, it's a team.
Yeah. So we were a team, and I was like, dude, imagine if we were all here local, we have an ultra mega team, and we can still grow individually. But they didn't have any additional added value. We could all teach you how to be rock star top producing agents, but then we had our social media, but then that was it. But then when we looked at everything, again, tit for tat, with Mike, we have social media and AI. With Josh, we have all the basic fundamentals that any real estate agent should be doing to have predictable, consistent income in their business. Tracking, CRM management, lead follow-up, lead management. People ask me who trained you? How'd you get there? That was my guy, right? And then you get Connor and all of his, whether it's real estate investment, entrepreneurship, organization growth for team leaders or broker owners. He's super brilliant. But the operations manager, Ashley, you get mine and Alika's remote realtor blueprint. She's essentially a part-time agent and makes high 6 or 7 figures a year in her personal production, working part-time. So we have a well-rounded skill set, but with also hungry, motivated. I know last year we were the fastest and #1 growing organization at all of EXP. So I was like, dude, if we're going to go, why not go where everybody's at? It was just to us, and then we had the fortunate privilege of meeting Mike at his event that I think it was September prior. He never brought up EXP, he didn't ever talk about it, but he was just so dope, met Louis, fell in love with that dude. And I was like, man, these are some cool dudes. And when I realized how it all structurally worked and how we could still collaborate, help support, I was like, yeah, this is it. So made the moves. We had to write a check to get out of our agreement, our franchise agreement. And it was the best money we ever spent.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I love it. That's so awesome. Well, I have just one more question for you. And this is the bonus question. So what is the mindset shift that agents need to make if they want to scale without increasing their stress?
Without increasing their stress. I guess I could say a couple things. One would be less is more, meaning before you go to try to add something new, see if there's any way you could amplify in any way what you are already doing. Typically, you don't need to do more. You just need to do what you're doing better. Even if conversions or setting appointments or conductions got X or marginally better, that'll compound and make bigger numbers than going down and starting at the bottom, trying to start something new. 2 would be either leverage, whether it's automation or delegation. In this day and age with AI, virtual assistants, and just how inexpensive it could be to have that truly impact your business, to where even if you have an extra 20 hours a week because you have a full-time 40-hour VA that is helping you, imagine what you could do with that 20 hours, right? Whether it's your health, your hobbies, charity, religious organizations, travel, kids' schools, right? Or reinvesting that back into your business, into the higher production activities, right? So, just figure out what you could pour more gasoline on to help do what you're doing. That way you're not adding anything new, because with adding something new, you have the learning curve, you have the implementation curve, you have another thing to follow. Try to of alleviate some of the stuff. Most agents that I know are doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Oh,
Like, it makes
100%.
people mad,
100%.
especially like if you're like yourself or some of the other producers. Like, there's no reason why you should still be grocery shopping. Why you shouldn't be doing your lawn. Like, I'm like,
Right.
I know how to change my oil in my car, but I'm not doing it. It's not the best use of my time. I'd rather take that hour and go do this because I can make more money doing it. So just leverage, like find, some things like that and just let it go. But yeah, those probably be my top two things to, help not build any additional overwhelm.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think all of those or both of those are really important. I have that conversation often because I have quite a few newer agents right now and they're trying to find their footing. And, even as new agents, I'm like, you got to pick two things to start off with and be consistent and just get good at those baby bites. That's what I call them. We take baby bites. So I love that you have kind of the same like mindset when it comes to that. And I'm so grateful that you came today. And I think your story shows what happens when you combine community and systems and smart brokerage alignment. So thank you for breaking that down for everyone
I
watching.
appreciate you having me. Thank you. It's always great catching up.
Yeah. And if those of you watching, you found value in this conversation, drop your biggest takeaway in the comments, like this video and subscribe so you don't miss future interviews. And if you're ready to build smarter systems, reduce risk, and scale with stronger support, click the link in the description to book a call with Armando and I. And I will also have his link so that you can follow along with him as well. So thanks for tuning in and thank you, Armando.
Appreciate you.
Bye.